difference? He sees her playful resistance not as a barrier, but as he doesn't chase, doesn't beg for approval, and doesn't take it personally. Instead, he responds with strength and humor, showing her that no amount of teasing can shake his presence. And that's exactly what makes her feel safe enough to keep leaning in. Think about if she didn't care, she wouldn't bother testing you at all. She'd be neutral, detached, and uninterested. But the fact that she's investing energy in pushing your buttons means she's already invested emotionally. She just doesn't want you to know it outright. And when you handle those tests like aim and in control, you silently prove Toa that you're different from the rest. She looks for your attention without asking for it. One of the strongest signs that a woman is secretly hiding her feelings is the way she seeks your attention indirectly. She won't say, "Notice me." She won't openly demand your focus. Instead, she creates moments where you naturally give it to her without realizing she orchestrated it. Maybe she posts something on social media that she knows will catch your eye. Maybe she tells a story in a group but glances at you to see if you're listening. Maybe she simply adjusts her appearance around you, hoping you'll notice, but pretending she doesn't care if you do. On the surface, it all looks casual. Underneath, it's a quiet plea for your validation, without exposing her vulnerability. Here's the blunt truth. Women don't put effort into catching the attention of men they have no interest. If she's going out of her way to be seen by you, whether through her words, actions, or even silence, it's not by she wants to be in your mental space, even if she's too guarded to admit it. When a woman hides her feelings, she still craves one thing: reassurance. She wants to know if she matters to you, but without putting herself at risk. The controversial part is the way she seeks attention often looks like indifference to the Maybe she suddenly goes quiet, waiting to see if you'll notice her mood. Maybe she posts something vague online, curious if you'll respond. Or maybe she casually mentions another guy, not because she's interested, but because she wants to see if you LL react. Every move is calculated, not for drama, but for proof that she matters to you. Most men fail here because they ignore cues or get frustrated by them. They think she's being difficult or confusing, but a Stoic man sees through the mask. He notices when she dresses a little differently around him, when she laughs louder at his jokes than anyone else's, when she looks his way more times than she admits. He doesn't call her out or inflate his ego. He simply acknowledges it with calm presence, showing her that she doesn't need to beg for his attention because she already has it. Think about it. If she truly felt nothing, she wouldn't care whether you noticed her or not. The fact that she positions herself to be seen proves the heart is speaking even while her myth stays silent. And once you recognize that, you'll realize she's not just hiding her feelings. She's waiting for the right man to notice them. At the end of the day, when a woman hides her feelings, she's not being called. She's protecting her heart. Every small detail, every subtle test, every indirect move is her way of showing interest without exposing herself fully. Most men miss these signals and walk away clueless, but the man who pays attention gains an advantage that others never will. If you learn to read between lines, you'll see her emotions long before she admits them, and once you do, you'll realize attraction isn't always. It's hidden in the silence, the details, and the unspoken desire. He also doesn't dismiss it as nothing. Instead, he calmly acknowledges the energy shift and stays centered. That calmness makes her feel but exposed and drawn in because she realizes you see through her mask without her having to confess. Think about it. If you're out with friends and another woman laughs at your joke, watch how she reacts. Does she suddenly go? Does she insert herself back into your attention? Does she jokingly compete for your focus? Those are not random behaviors. Those are quiet flashes of emotion slipping through the cracks of her guard. The reality is simple. When a woman hides her feelings, jealousy is the emotion she can't fully control, and if you're wise enough to spot it, you'll know her heart is revealing what her words refuse to say. For she remembers the smallest details about you. One of the clearest signs that a woman is secretly hiding her feelings is how sharply she remembers the little things you say. Most men underestimate this, but when a woman truly cares, even if she won't admit, her mind naturally locks onto details about you that others overlook. You might casually mention your favorite, a stressful meeting at work, or a random childhood story, and weeks later she'll bring it up like it just happened to you. That's not coincidence. That's emotional investment disguised as casual memory. Here's the part most men don't realize. Women don't waste mental energy on men they don't care about. I've feared just another guy in her orbit. Your words fade quickly. But if she's hiding deeper feelings, her subconscious won't let your words slip away. She'll remember the exact way you like your coffee, the name of your dog, or even the small complaints you had on a random Tuesday. And she slipped those details back into conversations, not because Boft is trying to impress you, but because her mind naturally replays anything connected to you. The controversial here is that remembering details is her way of connecting without exposing herself. She won't say, "I've been thinking about you." Instead, she casually mention, "Did that project you told me about ever get?" Or, "I saw that food you said you liked and thought of you." On the surface, it seems innocent, but underneath, it's her way of showing she's paying attention far more than she wants you to know. This is where most men fail. They shrugged it off, or assumed she's just being friendly. But a Stoic man recognizes it for what it is: emotional investment. He doesn't rush to call her out, and he doesn't mock her for remembering. Instead, he calmly appreciates it and mirrors that same attentiveness back. That balance makes her feel both safe and understood, which only deepens the attraction she's trying so hard to hide. Think about it. When a woman repeats back something you mentioned weeks ago, it means you've taken up space in her mind. She notices, she remembers, and she cares, even if she won't admit it directly. And if you can recognize that, you'll realize she's not just listening with her ears, she's listening with her. 5. She opens up emotionally in small, careful doses. Careful doses. When a woman is hiding her feelings, she rarely drops her guard all at once. Instead, she tests the waters, picturing little pieces of her inner world, small personal confessions dished as casual conversation. It might start with something minor, like admitting she had a rough day or hinting at a past struggle. To the average man, it may sound like nothing, but in reality, it's her way of seeing you're a safe place for her emotions. Here's the truth most men miss. Women didn't open up to men they don't trust. If she's revealing things about her past, her dreams, or even her insecurities, things she doesn't normally tell others, that's not random. That's her heart trying to connect without directly confessing attraction. She won't say, "I like you, that's why I'm telling you this." But the fact that she's sharing it, Alice, proof that you hold a special place in her mind. The controversial part is she won't pour everything out at once because she still wants to protect. Instead, she releases emotions in controlled doses. Maybe she'll tell you a story from her childhood she's never shared before. Maybe she open up about what's Garesha, or what she truly wants out of life. Each small detail is like a bread crumbling you closer to her heart, and if you pay attention, you'll realize she's reveling far more than she intends to. Most men mishandle this. They either get too excited and push her to reveal more, or they brush it off like it doesn't single quotes tmatter. Both mistakes break the trust she's carefully extending. A Stoic man, however, understands through it of these small disclosures. He doesn't react with judgment, pity, or enthusiasm. Instead, he listens calmly, acknowledges what she says, and provides the steady presence she's searching for. That balance makes her feel safe, and safety's the doorway to deeper connection. Think about it. If she's telling ya about her fears, her frustrations, or even her dreams, ask yourself why. She could keep it hidden, but she chose you. That's not random. That's her testing whether you can handle her emotions without running away or losing respect for her. And when you respond with calm strength, you prove to her without words that she can trust you with more. That's when hidden feelings start back. 6. She playfully tests your reactions. When a woman is hiding her feelings, one of the most revealing things she'll do is test you in subtle, playful ways. She won't come out, "Anzi, I like you." Instead, she drop little challenges to see how you're. Maybe she teases you, makes a sarcastic remark, or pretends she doesn't care just to watch your reaction. On the surface, it looks like harmless banter, but underneath, it's her way of measuring your strength, your tonians, and your ability to handle her energy without crumbling. Here's that truth most men ignore. Women don't test men, they feel nothing for it. If she's teasing you, jokingly questioning yours, or even pretending to be uninterested at times, it's not random, that it's calculated curiosity. She wants to know, are you grounded enough to stand your frame, or will you stumble at the first hint of pressure? Because if you break to easily shenos, you're not the man she can fully open up to. The controversial part is this. Her tests are not meant to push you. They're meant to pull you closer. By poking at your confidence, she's trying to uncover whether you're the type of man who can make her feel. If you overreact, get defensive, or desperately try to prove yourself, you fail the test. But if you stay calm, composed, and even playful in return, you pass. And that's when her attraction deepens. Even if she hides it behind a smirk, most men fail here because they mistake your tests for rejection. They think, she's not interested, she's making fun of me. But a Stoic man recognizes the. If we're being honest, most men are blind to the little signs a woman gives us one. She's secretly hiding her feelings. They think attraction always comes with obvious confessions, bold moves, or direct words. But that's not how female psychology works. In reality, the strongest emotions are often hidden, disguised, and expressed in subtle ways. And here's the truth most men don't want to hear. A woman can be deeply into you while pretending she's not. She got her emotions. Test your awareness. And wait to see if you can read the If you miss them, you'll lose your chance before you even realize it. But if you recognize these hidden signs, you gain an unfair advantage because you'll see what most men never notice. In this video, I'm going to break down 7 powerful things a woman does when she's secretly in love but trying to hide it. Once you understand them, you'll never look at her behavior the same way again. She avoids direct confession but shows indirect signals. She avoids direct confession but shows indirect signals. Here's the part most men completely. When a woman is hiding her feelings, she won't come out and say it. She won't walk up to you and announce, I like you. Instead, she'll protect her emotions and let her interest leak out through subtle, almost invisible signals. Why? Because women fear rejection just as much as men, sometimes even more. If she comes on too strong and you don't feel the same way, she risks embarrassment, judgment, or even losing her place in your life. So instead of saying it outright, she hides behind indirect actions. The average man gets frustrated here. He complains, why can't women just say what they feel? But what he doesn't realize is that this very act of holding back is a test. She hunts to see if you're sharp enough to know if you're the kind of man whopper's attention, or if you're just like a rest who need everything spoon-fed. When she's hiding her feelings, you'll notice little contradictions in her behavior. She acts casual with her words, but her eyes linger. She joke around as if you're just friends, but her body language betrays her when she leans and closer than necessary. Here's the controversial. A woman hiding her emotions is never truly silent. Her actions scream what her mouth refuses to admit. The way she finds excuses to text you, the way she laughs at jokes that aren't even the way she remembers small details about you that even you forgot. All of these are indirect confessions, but most men are too distracted, too insecure, or too impatient to pick up on them. A Stoic man, however, understands she game. He doesn't chase or beg forwards. He simply observes. He lets her silence speak. He notices the signal send. He responds with calm confidence instead of needy overreaction. That's what makes him stand out. Because he hears the blunt reality. When she's hiding her feelings, she's actually inviting you to step up. She's waiting to see if you can read between the miss it, and she assumed you're just another man who doesn't get it. But catch it and you unlock the part of her heart she's been too scared to reveal. She finds reasons to be around you without admitting why to. She finds reasons to be around you with admitting why. When a woman is hiding her feelings, one of the clearest signs is that she constantly finds excuses to be in your space. She won't say, I came here because I wanted to see you. That would expose her. Instead, she masks her presence behind little reasons that seem casual on the surface. But deep down, it's her way of staying close to you without confessing. Maybe she just the pan to stop by where you are. Maybe she suddenly develops an interest in some hobbies you enjoy. Or maybe she keeps crossing paths with you in ways that feel like coincidence, but are far from accidental. Most men overlook this. They assume it's random, or that she's simply being friendly. But here's the women are intentional with they don't repeatedly placate themselves around a man, unless there's something pulling them in. If she's hiding her feelings, her actions will give her away long before her words do. Pay attention to how often she shows up in your orbit, even when she doesn't have to. Here's the controversial part. Her excuses are a shield. She pretends it's about something else. Maybe she borrows something trivial just to have Ariason to see you again. Maybe she asks questions she could have easily Googled just so the conversation keeps going. Maybe she hangs around a group but somehow she always ends up standing or sitting next to you. That's strategy mixed with vulnerability. A Stoic man recognized this difference. He doesn't roll his eyes thinking she's just bored, and he doesn't jump in with needy Instead, he notices, stays calm, and allows her to feel comfortable in his presence. The worst mistake you can make is calling her out on it too soon, like saying, "You always seem to be around them." That breaks the magic and puts her on the defensive. The right move is to let it flow naturally, because every time she shows up, she's telling you without lying you that you're the man she wants more of. Think about it. If a woman truly had no feelings for you, she'd avoid unnecessary time in your presence. But when she engineers those moments. And if you're smart enough to recognize it, you'll realize she's not hiding from you. She's waiting for you to notice. She gets jealous but tries to hide it. She gets jealous but tries to hide it. When a woman is secretly hiding her feelings for you, jealousy is one of the strongest giveaways. She won't come out and say, "I want you all to myself." That would expose her. Instead, she disguised it with subtle reactions, quiet changes in her tone, or small shifts in her body language whenever another woman gets your attention. It's not full-blown drama because she can't afford to reveal too much, but it's there if you pay up. Here's the truth. Women rarely get jealous of men they don't care about. If she truly had no feelings for you, she wouldn't even flinch when you mention another woman. But if she's hiding her emotions, you'll notice that small pause when you talk about someone else. Maybe her smile fades for half a second. Maybe her answers get shorter. Maybe she suddenly changes the subject. On the surface, she plays it cool. Deep down, she's battling emotions she doesn't want you to see. And here's the controversial part. Jealousy, when it's subtle, is not toxic. It's actually proof of emotional investment. A woman who secretly cares will feel aquiode's sting when you give attention elsewhere, even if she tries to act like it doesn't matter. She may tease you about another girl, she may make sarcastic comments, or she might suddenly distance herself for a short while. All of these are defense mechanisms. Her way of protecting her heart without openly admitting she's affected. A Stoic man recognizes these signals without overacting. He doesn't use her jealousy to manipulate or boast, because that screams